Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Easy Chat English Podcast. I'm Amelia, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Ethan. Today's episode is all about mastering the art of small talk.
That's right. Small talk can be tricky, but it's a crucial skill, especially when you're learning a new language. We've put together 100 small talk questions for real-life scenarios to help you navigate all kinds of social situations.
Whether you're at a party, meeting new people at work, or simply chatting with your neighbor, we've got you covered.
And we've prepared a PDF with all these questions just for you. You can find the link to download it in the comments section below.
Okay, let's get started. Picture this. You're at a party and you don't know many people. It's easy to feel out of place, but starting a conversation can make you feel more comfortable. One of the easiest ways is to ask about a shared connection. For example, you could say something like, "How do you know the host?"
Yeah. How do you know the host? This is a perfect way to kick things off because both of you have a connection to the host, which gives you common ground.
Exactly. Another great question at social events is to ask about the food. If there's a buffet or some snacks, you can say, "Have you tried the food here? Any recommendations?"
Have you tried the food here? Any recommendations? It's light, it's easy, and most people love talking about food.
And if you're not sure what to ask next, you could always comment on the event itself. Something like, "What's the best event you've been to recently?"
Yeah. What's the best event you've been to recently? It opens the door for them to share their experiences, and who knows, you might get some ideas for future events.
Or if you want to keep things a bit more personal, you could ask about hobbies. Try something like, "Are you into any fun hobbies?"
Are you into any fun hobbies? People love sharing their interests, and it often leads to a more engaging conversation.
And finally, if you're looking for something simple and universal, ask what they enjoy most about the event. You could say, "What's your favorite thing about events like this?"
What's your favorite thing about events like this? This question keeps things positive and helps the other person feel good about the conversation.
Now let's talk about the workplace, which can sometimes feel a bit formal for small talk. But remember, making connections at work is important. If you're new to a company, you might start with, "How long have you worked here?"
How long have you worked here? This is a great icebreaker for talking with colleagues. It's simple and opens up a lot of follow-up questions.
Exactly. And once you've broken the ice, you could ask about what they enjoy in their role. For example, "What do you enjoy most about your job?"
Well, what do you enjoy most about your job? This question shows genuine interest in their work and can help build rapport.
Another great topic at work is conferences or events. You might ask, "Have you attended any interesting conferences lately?"
Have you attended any interesting conferences lately? This works especially well in industries where learning and networking are important.
And if you're looking for a way to learn more about their day-to-day life at work, try this. What's a typical day like for you?
What's a typical day like for you? It's open-ended, and most people love talking about their routine.
Finally, if you want to dive into work projects, you could ask, "Are you working on any exciting projects right now?"
Are you working on any exciting projects right now? This is a great way to keep the conversation professional, but interesting.
Talking to strangers might feel intimidating, but sometimes you just need a few simple questions to break the ice. For example, if you're waiting in line at a cafe or a shop, you could comment on the weather. Something like, "Isn't the weather nice today?"
Isn't the weather nice today? It's a classic, but it works almost every time.
Another easy topic with strangers is the place you're in. If you're in a new area or frequent a certain spot, you might ask, "Do you come here often?"
Do you come here often? It's a nice way to start a conversation with someone who looks like they're a regular.
Or if you're in a more casual environment, like a market or a restaurant, try asking about local recommendations. For example, "Have you tried any good restaurants around here?"
Have you tried any good restaurants around here? People love giving suggestions, and it's an easy way to get them talking.
Coffee lovers, here's one for you. If you're at a coffee shop, you could ask, "What's your go-to coffee order?"
What's your go-to coffee order? It's casual, and everyone has a favorite coffee drink they can talk about.
And if you're new to the area, you might ask, do you live around this area?
Do you live around this area? This is especially useful if you want to learn more about the local neighborhood.
Building connections with neighbors can create a sense of community, but it's not always easy to know how to start. One good way to begin is by asking how long they've lived in the area. You could say, how long have you lived in this neighborhood?
How long have you lived in this neighborhood? It's a natural way to get the conversation going, and you can find out if they're new or longtime residents.
Another good topic is the local park or recreational area. You might ask, have you checked out the new park nearby?
Have you checked out the new park nearby? It's easy and keeps the conversation focused on something local that you can both relate to.
You could also ask them what they like most about living in the neighborhood. Something like, what's your favorite thing about living here?
What's your favorite thing about living here? It invites them to share positive experiences, which keeps the conversation light.
And if you're new to the area, asking for shopping tips is always a good idea. You could say, any tips on the best places to shop around here?
Any tips on the best places to shop around here? Most people are happy to share their local knowledge.
Lastly, you could ask them about their weekend activities to keep the conversation going. Try, how do you usually spend your weekends?
How do you usually spend your weekends? It's open-ended and gives them the chance to talk about their hobbies or interests.
When you're traveling, small talk can be a great way to pass the time and get tips from fellow travelers. For example, if you're on a plane or at the airport, you might ask, is this your first time visiting this city?
Is this your first time visiting this city? It's an easy way to start a conversation, especially if you're both tourists.
Or if you're talking to someone who travels frequently, try asking about their favorite destination. You could say, what's your favorite place you've traveled to?
What's your favorite place you've traveled to? People love talking about travel, and this usually sparks a fun conversation.
If you're curious about why they're traveling, you could ask, are you traveling for work or fun?
Are you traveling for work or fun? It's a simple question, but it opens the door to learn more about their trip.
Another great question while traveling is asking for recommendations. You could say, do you have any must-see recommendations for this destination?
Do you have any must-see recommendations for this destination? This is especially useful if you're exploring a new place and want insider tips.
And lastly, if you're chatting during the journey, ask how their trip is going so far. You could say, how's your trip going so far?
How's your trip going so far? It keeps the conversation light and gives them a chance to share their experiences.
Gyms can sometimes feel intimidating, especially if you're new. But making friends or chatting with others can make the experience more enjoyable. For example, if you're next to someone on the treadmill, you could start by asking, how long have you been coming to this gym?
How long have you been coming to this gym? It's a friendly and simple way to find out if they're new too, or if they're regulars. Plus, it can help you get a feel for the community at the gym.
If you're interested in learning more about their workout, you might ask, what's your favorite workout routine?
What's your favorite workout routine? People love sharing their fitness habits, and you might even get some new ideas for your own workouts.
And if you find out they enjoy playing sports, you could follow up with, do you participate in any sports?
Do you participate in any sports? This is a great way to discover shared interests and maybe even find a workout partner.
If you notice they're training intensely, it's nice to show interest in their goals. You could ask, are you training for any events?
Are you training for any events? It's a thoughtful question that shows genuine interest in their progress and can lead to more in-depth conversations.
Finally, a good way to keep the conversation going is to ask about their fitness journey. A simple question like, what do you find most challenging in your fitness journey?
What do you find most challenging in your fitness journey? This gives them a chance to share more personal insights, and you can exchange tips on overcoming obstacles. Coffee shops are such a relaxed environment, and they're perfect for starting casual conversations. If you're waiting for your order or sitting at a shared table, you can always start with an easy question like, what's your go-to coffee order?
What's your go-to coffee order? Everyone has a favorite drink, and it's a great way to bond over shared tastes, or even get a new drink recommendation.
And if you notice they're working or reading, You could ask, "Do you work from here often?"
Do you work from here often? It's a natural way to connect with someone who's using the space regularly, and it might lead to a chat about favorite work spots.
If you're more of a foodie, a simple way to start talking could be to ask about the food. For instance, have you tried any of the pastries here?
Have you tried any of the pastries here? People love talking about food, and this can lead to a fun conversation about favorite treats.
Or if you're new to the area, you could ask for local cafe recommendations. You might say, "What's your favorite cafe in the area?"
What's your favorite cafe in the area? This question opens the door to learning more about the local scene and finding new spots to try.
And if you're just keeping things light and casual, you can always end with a simple choice question like, "Do you prefer coffee or tea?"
Do you prefer coffee or tea? It's playful and light, which helps keep the conversation relaxed.
Small talk on a date or when meeting new friends is all about getting to know the other person better. To start, you can ask a question that invites them to talk about their passions. For example, what's something you're really passionate about?
What's something you're really passionate about? This allows them to open up and share what matters most to them, which can lead to a more meaningful connection.
Or if you're looking for something lighter, pets are always a fun topic. You could ask, "Do you have any pets?"
Do you have any pets? People love talking about their pets, and it's a great way to share personal stories.
Another good way to learn about their lifestyle is to ask how they spend their free time. Try this. "What do you like to do on weekends?"
What do you like to do on weekends? It's an open-ended question that helps you find common ground, whether it's hobbies, interests, or activities.
If you want to keep things light and fun, asking about their favorite movies is a great option. You could say, "What's the best movie you've seen recently?"
What's the best movie you've seen recently? It's a simple and engaging way to talk about shared entertainment interests.
And if the conversation is going well, you can ask a question that gets them dreaming. Something like, "If you could visit any country, where would you go?"
If you could visit any country, where would you go? This question is great for inspiring exciting travel stories and hearing about their dream destinations. The holidays are a perfect time for small talk because most people are in a festive mood. If you're at a holiday gathering or just chatting with someone during the season, you can ask, "Do you have any holiday plans this year?"
Do you have any holiday plans this year? This is a great way to start a conversation, whether they're traveling, staying home, or getting together with family and friends.
And if you want to dive deeper into traditions, you could follow up with, "What's your favorite holiday tradition?"
What's your favorite holiday tradition? This often leads to nostalgic stories and helps you connect over shared holiday experiences.
If you're celebrating a specific holiday together, it's always nice to ask how they celebrate. You could say something like, "How do you usually celebrate Christmas?" Or, "How do you usually celebrate Thanksgiving?"
How do you usually celebrate Christmas? How do you usually celebrate Thanksgiving? This is a thoughtful way to learn more about their family or cultural traditions.
And if you want to keep things light and fun, asking about gifts is always a great option. You might say, "What's the best gift you've ever received?"
What's the best gift you've ever received? People love sharing stories about memorable gifts, and it's a cheerful conversation starter.
Lastly, if you're looking to keep the conversation going, asking about upcoming events is a great way to keep it festive. You can ask, "Are you excited for the upcoming holiday season?"
Are you excited for the upcoming holiday season? This keeps the conversation positive and focused on the excitement of the season. Wow, that's 100 small talk questions for you to use in real-life situations. Hopefully these ideas will help you feel more confident and ready to engage in conversations.
Absolutely. Small talk doesn't have to be stressful, and with these questions, you'll be prepared for any situation. Whether it's at a party, the gym, or even on a date.
Remember, the key to great small talk is not just asking questions, but also listening and responding thoughtfully. That's what makes a conversation flow naturally.
Exactly. So try using a few of these questions this week, and you might be surprised at how much more comfortable you feel.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe to Easy Chat English Podcast for more tips on improving your English. See you next time.
Take care and happy chatting.